Good morning and welcome everyone to the VALORANT Game Changers North America Series 2 presented by Verizon. So fortunate to be joined alongside Mimi and Bala today. Good morning, everyone. Today we'll be
sorry, hold on. What are we talking about? Good morning. What
Good morning. It's 5 p.m.
Listen. It's 2 p.m. over in glorious
That's not
California.
morning. In California, it's not glorious.
For gamers.
So
It's
many
morning for
lies going
gamers.
on.
You know what? It's morning somewhere in the world. That's the important thing. And actually, there's an even more important thing. As today, we will be crowning
Asia?
a champion.
It's 5 a.m.
Exactly. Okay. It's morning over there.
So
no lies were spoken on this broadcast.
All right, go ahead.
But today we'll be crowning either FlyQuest Red or Shopify Rebellion. And obviously, this is a story that we saw as recent as last stage. Before we dive in too far, we did have a lot of action take place yesterday in that lower bracket final. So let's go ahead and take a look for any of you who may have missed the action from day number 5.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Verizon VALORANT Game Changers NA for Series 2.
Come from nothing in the world, but it's all good.
Only one player holding that flank. Sabui on the swing, clean shot to start. There's 3 more lined up. Sabui on the triple. Passion Project full clearing through the A side, shutting that one down. Then having this Yoru as a fast rotator to get back into B. Only one left, but Jazzy has time on her side. Arumba in, Starbound trying to sneak this one. The spam is there, and Jazzy
start finding some answers into this Lazy Lion lurk. The positions they've been in.
Lazy Lion
huge.
On the board. That is a big kill to find. How much can Thea do? That lurk through doors does not let it. A disgusting shot. A Dink already received. She is trapped out in this corner. He's coming into Thea. Lazy Lion force.
Pash Project haven't given him a reason not to. This might be it though. Lazy Lion tucked out in the corner. That's going to be 2 kills to the site. Light stuck out there in the open as Lazy Lion goes back for more. The ping's out. Lazy Lion gets 3 in the round, and coming back out is Thea. He's going to be forced to come back out here. Thea is reading it like a book. Lace was left over on B the entire time and crept all the way back into spawn. What a shot. Lace has been so light out. He's quite so active. Nice shot there. Coming from Lazy Line, walking to the operator. And going back. Okay, Sandra, I respect it.
And despite having this, this combo between the Dizzy...
Because now, ever since they've given up on those fast execs, they're trying...
And she brings it home.
Are you kidding me?
A lot of great highlights coming out of that lower bracket final, but it is ultimately FlyQuest Red that move on to face Shopify Rebellion in the grand finals today. Passion Project, however, making it once again to the top 4, this time around making it all the way to that lower bracket final, but Mimi just was not enough.
Yeah, it's got to be disappointing for Passion Project to be 2 rounds away from beating SR in that upper final, really having them on the ropes, and then falling down and honestly getting dominated by FlyQuest in that series. They've looked lights out since losing that initial series to Solstice up in the upper quarterfinal. They've won 9 maps straight to make it back here to their second final in a row.
Yeah, and I'm looking at this bracket and I'm kind of annoyed at Shopify for making it through in the closed qualifier number 2 instead of number 1 because it messes it up. They're not in the top anymore, but they still go through all the way. I mean, 3 wins to get to the grand final. This is so, just iconic type of stuff. It's every single time. I was looking through all the brackets and it was always literally first seed all the way to the grand finals every single time out of the 11 game changes we've had. Insane.
I think this is the 10th now, plus if you're counting the for the women's summer showdown one and international, everyone this core has gone on the upper bracket run. I can maybe remember once where they lost that upper finals. So yeah, it's to be expected. I think that this top 3 is what everyone thought the top 3 was going to be. Passion Project and FlyQuest have both been looking good through these last few tournaments. It was really just a question of which of those 2 was going to face Shopify today.
Absolutely, Mimi. I'm glad that you called out the run that we've seen from the side of FlyQuest Red, winning 9 maps in a row to make it all the way to the grand finals. Of course, this is the grand finals that we saw at the end of stage 1 as well. Back then, it was a 3-0 for the side of Shopify Rebellion, but Mimi, this time around, we're seeing what looks like a more mortal Shopify Rebellion, especially that upper bracket final match that you had just referenced earlier.
Yeah, I mean, back when we saw this final last time, I felt like Shopify was actually in really incredible form. This was like looking like legit Shopify super team, the team who went on the run to win at GCC and have been looking good in some of these co-ed events as well. All these players were stepping up. It was a great tournament for Noya, for Mel, beyond just Fluorescent, and still, it was a dominant win in this finals. They had some great calling. For me, this was Shopify at their best.
Yeah, I think for me, though, back in this last series, the last grand final these two teams played, FlyQuest was still a relatively new team, right? Kind of mixed with the old EG core and the CLG Red from prior iterations, the FlyQuest Red from prior iterations as well. So, yeah, they were still relatively new, still getting their feet under them. So I'm not sure if we're actually going to see quite a difference. I'm really interested to see if Shopify or FlyQuest will actually strengthen their attempt here in this grand final, because I think there will be more for them to poke at. Like you were saying, maybe Shopify looks a little bit more mortal this time around.
Yeah, that first series final where they got 3-0'd, I think FlyQuest was really reliant on a lot of the individual form. I think they were really leaning heavily on players like Dodonut and Sonder. They looked like a team that had 5 really good star players and were putting things together, and there were a lot of good calls, but it wasn't what EG was when Thea, when the core of this team was leading that squad to beat Shopify and go to GCC, even if GCC did end in disappointment for them. Now with this new, or I guess this same roster with a little bit more time behind them, I think they've really built up the fundamentals of what makes a team. They've found their style. I think Thea has put together a squad who's showing really good prep in a lot of these series, really good mid-rounding. It is, to me, a squad that is looking like so much of a team compared to a Shopify, which I think has had to rely a lot more on individual performances, mostly from Fluorescent, to stay alive in this GCC or in this GC run.
I'm glad that you bring up the performance of Fluorescent. Fluorescent is someone who's obviously been a star player every single time that we see her, but there wasn't a time that I think we saw that shine more so than that upper bracket final run, that best of 3 where we saw Floor drop what was almost 100 kills in that best of 3 meeting.
I mean, this was... I don't think I've ever seen a best of 3 like this. Simply put, against two teams that should on paper be pretty competitive. Passion Project had every right to win this game. By the way, the global kill record for a best out of 5 at like a LAN tournament is 105 kills. And Floor dropped 94 in this one match, 3 maps. I mean, you just don't see that.
It was insane. And the thing is too, like you also don't see 3 maps where Shopify in general is allowing that much time in a series and making it so that Floor has to almost do everything. And that's kind of, to me, the concerning part of watching this series is, yes, Floor was insane. I mean, just one of the best series we've ever seen from a player at all. But it needed to happen. It needed to happen for them to take out Passion Project. I mean, it was a 3-map series with Passion Project almost winning. I mean, it was 2 rounds basically in the entire series that made the difference. And without Floor's performance right here, without this almost 400 ACS, it would not have happened. And we would have seen yesterday FlyQuest versus Shopify instead.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I was pretty disappointed in what I was seeing from Shopify in that game. I feel like they were getting out-called in a lot of rounds. I think every other individual was having a rough day. We saw people like Noya, like Mel, that are normally always good to find a ton of impact when someone is hitting their site, just getting completely outshot by the opposition. By all metrics, Shopify should have lost this game. And when we think about this team, I feel like it's always so consistent when you listen to interviews from Mel, when you listen to Effie's talk about this team. They don't want to be playing close games in GC. The goal is to stomp everyone, to look for the next goal, to be their best in co-ed, those kind of things. And to be honest, Floor was great in this series, but Shopify was not up to their level. And that now puts a big question of how well they're going to be playing here. Because if they can scrape by with another amazing Floor performance to win a final, sure, that's possible. But a team this good should not have to rely on that.
Yeah, I completely agree. And if you look at those scorelines, I mean, it was insane how close it is. Especially when you consider the team that they're going up against right now in the grand finals, FlyQuest, just played against Passion Project, and they dumpstered them. I mean, it wasn't even close. It was not even close. To read some of those scorelines, 13-7, 13-5, 13-9, like these were not close games. It was a 3-0 overall for them. So, yeah, it's scary. It's very scary. What FlyQuest has done in this lower bracket is look good, and what Shopify has done, while they make it to the grand finals, I think, based off of what everybody consistently thinks about this team and the main event is, they're going to just take it by anything. You're kind of flipping the script here.
Indeed, Mimi, we saw a lot of the strengths that we're looking at right now from the side of FlyQuest last stage as well, where we saw Thea calling very, very well. A lot of star plays coming out from the side of Dodo Nut. But this time around in stage 2, what are you looking forward to in this grand finals?
I'm really looking forward to, I think, just the coordination that this team has started to show. I love, in a lot of these late rounds, how good they are at actually taking their time, finding a pause on the round, and regrouping to fight together. I think Lace has been incredible with her utility throughout this one. I think Starbound has been so consistently clutch for this team. It's just a team that I think is playing super fundamentally well right now in their series in that BO5. I thought their prep was on point. They brought out a new comp on the Breeze, locking in the Reyna and stuff too. And even though it's a little bit more out there ideas, I think everything they're doing has a clear reason. And they haven't had to really rely on any one individual player throughout this tournament to make this flawless run happen, which speaks to the level of this team compared to everyone else in GC.
I think that also speaks to the growing leadership coming from the side of Thea. Obviously, we've talked about Mel as the in-game leader for the side of Shopify Rebellion time and time again whenever it comes to these Game Changers events, but Thea growing into her role more and more over time. We saw that in stage 1. Now in stage 2, we're especially seeing that in the team play coming out from the side of FlyQuest Red, Bala.
Yeah, absolutely. And to me as well, you saw her play fantastic in that lower bracket final. There are moments where I think, yes, the reason why they're playing well is because not only is Thea playing well, but that catapults her to be able to call very well as well, where she has the confidence to go up in different places and make those situations happen, like Mimi's mentioning. Whereas on the flip side, I think for Mel, I think pressure is still there for her. She plays fantastic in the games that they stomp, but in the games where she really has to come up with ideas, she has to be creative, those types of things, it starts to falter a little bit. And that's where I think the difference might be here in a grand finals, despite the experience that Mel has, right? Going for her 10th main event win in NA, like that sort of thing is very hard to overcome. But Thea is one that has done it before in this position in a grand finals last year with EG.
And you can't understate that Thea is one of only 2 IGLs in the Game Changers scene that have managed to win a final against Mel, against this Shopify core, right? Like it does not happen. The last time I suppose that happened wasn't even in a final. It was against SR and then G2 way back when they were Cloud9. But in this Shopify era, they've only ever lost one final, and that was to Thea. That was to Starbound, the core of that EG team who went on a run. And I really think that speaks to how good of a player Thea is, because at the start of last year, she was still really, I think, just known as a star player, someone who was pretty flexible, but not really someone who could bring those leadership qualities. She was thrust into it super last minute, like a week of practice with EG before that stage 3 final to take over the leadership for the team.
Legendary.
Goes on that massive run. It was absolutely incredible. And now with so much time to prep, to build this roster around her, with her and Jovi, who have now been working together since that EG team to build this system, she has leveled up so much. And if there was a leader to beat Mel again in a final, it would be her.
Well, it's all going to come down to this grand final, and now we're going to go ahead and take a look at the map picks and bans. Knowing what we know from seeing their matches throughout the entire playoffs. Okay, so we're starting to see the maps right now. Bala, first thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the bans in particular for Shopify, banning Split, banning Bind. Bind was a place where they struggled a little bit against Passion Project with the new comp idea that they're going for. They get 2 bans, right? So they end up being able to flex over to that. And I kind of like that choice. And then looking at the map pool in general, I'm not seeing a specific place that needs to be flipped. I think Shopify showed a little weakness on Ascent with their attack side, which FlyQuest, I think, in their Ascent games have actually shown strength on their attack side. So I'm very curious for how that one's gonna go, but no specific must flips for FlyQuest in this map pool, which I think is pretty good that they're coming into that, with my opinion being that as well.
Yeah, I think this is also a really good place to start for Shopify Rebellion too. I've actually really liked their Lotus. They switched over to playing kind of that almost like Heretic style Fade Breach comp, which I think works really well, especially when you do have a star player like Floor. Gives you a lot more power on your executes. Their defense was also super proactive to find these right timings on the re-clears, and that defensive side was actually what impressed me the most. Coming out the better of that 7-5 against Passion Project was super good. So I'm kind of hard pressed to see how a FlyQuest, who we haven't really seen much of their Lotus, the last time they played was that initial loss to Solstice, is going to pick up a win here. But if they do, that's a massive tone setter for the rest of the series.
Okay. And now with the agents being shown, Bala, what are your thoughts about the compositions that we're seeing from both teams here in this grand finals on Met 1?
I mean, FlyQuest going a little bit more standard, right? Shopify Mel, or Mimi, you're now Mel. Mimi just mentioned the kind of difference of approach and how it shifted the meta a little bit. I still prefer FlyQuest lean, maybe until patch changes from next come through. But for now, I think both comps are good. And you just have to play to the win cons a lot if you're Shopify with that breach.
Yeah, Shopify has to play really heavy, strong side, weak side. Noya will really often be alone either towards C or A, with the rest of her team far away going for proactive plays. So I'm looking at FlyQuest, I'm looking at Thea as a leader to play the slow mid-round that this Viper comp is good at, find that weak side. And if they're bullying Noya's site, like we saw in that series versus Passion Project they were very successful with, I think there's a chance to get a great start on attack here.
Well, I'm getting word that map number 1 is ready to go in this grand finals between Shopify Rebellion and FlyQuest Red. So let's head over to our casters, Doug and Baby.
Thank you so much, Smix. It's the Sunday game, and it doesn't get any better than this, Dre. We've got a best of 5, the grand finals here. What are you looking into as we think about Lotus and what's on the cards?
I'm excited to see what version of FlyQuest Red we see today, because if they play anything like they did yesterday, I mean, they have a really good chance of taking this whole series and finally beating Shopify for once. I mean, I think this entire year, or just the history between these teams, Shopify's been up 4-0 overall. So, I mean, you got to know that everyone on FlyQuest is wanting this win more than anything in the world right now.
They've just had such a dominant run. And I mean, you mentioned it. We talked about it yesterday. Artin mentioned it on the desk as well. It would be such a shame if they weren't able to compete today the way they have competed this entire tournament. We'll see if that's the case. FlyQuest starting off on the attacking side. We'll see what they do with this more standard comp.
Yeah, I think the name of the game right now so far is just the slow walk-ups with their composition. I mean, they're going to do a wall up A, and they're going to probably split the B. I mean, they did a good job of maintaining this trap. As I say that, Sarah takes Starbound out clean.
I thought Sarah was the one who was going to be in trouble. There were so many people posted up, but Mel did such a good job of applying pressure from Mound with the paranoia to make sure that Sarah was going to be okay. So that's going to force FlyQuest to turn their attention towards A. And of course, it's going to be into the teeth of this defense by Noya. You've got trips, you've got cages, you've got a little bit of everything that you're going to have to navigate through. And of course, Noya is the first to fall.
Good proactivity so far from FlyQuest, not getting the bomb down right away, just kind of consolidating onto the site. And now they're going for more, it looks like.
Oh, Sarah has such a good timing, such a good snap. 3 on the round. And there are still more to be found. Thea and Lace, the 2 that are left up. Both a little weak. Thea with no armor, but the spike in hand. It seems like they're going to try to rotate away as Sarah continues to go hunting with Floor over the top. Satcheling forward, pushing the pace. They have a really good idea of where they are. The smoke's the only thing keeping them at bay, and they're going to flood right through. The ace for Sarah to kick things off for Shopify. Dre, it doesn't get any better than that.
Starting off with an ace is Shopify. We spoke a lot about how FlyQuest Red had strong starts in the series that they played yesterday, but this time, I mean, Shopify, Sarah, just taking it into her own hands, and this timing that she found in heaven, that was clean. The poise on the shots, even the third. that she could have potentially got onto the site. I mean, just the movement looks so confident right now. So what a banger of a start for Shopify. And, I mean, you're already building towards that Fade ultimate. Bulldog and full armor invested onto Sarah as well. I mean, she could just as easily get that online in this next couple rounds.
Couple of smokes traded towards C. Cause problems with that one way that's often so painful to have to deal with. FlyQuest pushing forward. You see the buy on the attacking side. There's not a whole lot there. It's pretty lackluster, which makes sense given how the previous round went, but they've managed to get really far up onto C here. Floor holding the line. Oh, that's a rare miss. Paying for it, taking a little bit of damage. There's really nowhere for Starbound to go. Will get cleaned up as the flash push forward. They want to try to make their way into water, and it's Sarah again with the blender. 3 on the round. It's just ridiculous. She's got an ult already.
That's that ultimate I was talking about. But yeah, that was insane. I mean, just the transfer, fully scoped in as well. I mean, back-to-back rounds now, and having a Fade ult going into this bonus round for your side on the defense. I mean, especially with the way that Shopify has been taking this approach so far, where they kind of just play like a retake on one side of the map. Yeah, that could pay out dividends for them in this gun round. And I mean, if they're able to steal this one away from FlyQuest, this is a beautiful start.
Oh yeah, and it's, I mean, for Shopify, yeah, but unfortunately, a nightmarish beginning to the situation if you're FlyQuest.
Look at the leaderboard right now, 9-0, and the only follow-up is Floor sitting at 1-0. That's crazy to witness.
FlyQuest looking to find some success. A slightly different approach to how they've danced through these early attack rounds. A little bit different tempo.
This breach stun could be massive for Mel to get a conversion on this ghost round. That dog might be the cue, but just opting to get out here. Just kind of a smart play. It's a little bit of chip damage. Yeah, it's a little bit of chip damage, but nothing too bad. I think they're still trying to converge onto the C mount fight. I mean, that breach stun still being held.
Yeah, and I think that felt like the name of the game, right? Is to try to find where the breach utility is and then hit the opposite side of the map. But with Alexis's patience, FlyQuest haven't been able to get a ton out of this, and they're going to get the kill on the mill, which certainly helps, but the patience from Alexis is so impressive here.
Yeah, they still don't know where she is right now, and maybe some type of value being used right here. Maybe a nade to follow up with a tether nade.
There it is. Oh, check it out. Saunders tagged. Certainly worth her wear. Try to heal back up, and down to 46 HP. Meanwhile, it's on Shopify to figure out how they want to approach this retake. They have Sarah's ult, and I mean, there's really no reason not to invest it. Problem is, they had to be so cautious about how they get back into spawn, so they have to use the eye early on with no real idea of what was happening on that side of the map. But now they can push their way forward. A flash, going to keep things back. Noya will fall, though. Isthea with high ground will continue to cause problems. FlyQuest looking really good in this round. They're going to save the ult into the next, too.
Yeah, that was a clean post plan and entry from start to finish. You saw the game plan for FlyQuest in this round. They just wanted to bait out any type of trap that there was. And Alexis, although, yeah, she held on to all that utility, it just ended up not getting value at the end of the day, because once Mel goes down, there's no smokes for the actual retake, and it just becomes hard. But all that conditioning from FlyQuest early on in those first couple of rounds where they're playing really aggressive and up close in Shopify's face, up close and personal, that paid out a lot in that round specifically because they didn't play forward, and it actually allowed them to just clean up house once that bomb timer went down low.
A little bit of aggression from Shopify here. I was cautious there as soon as the timing went down on that orb. We'll have to think twice about it. Mal again has taken so much damage. This is what I thought was going to happen on the pistol. Sarah might get overwhelmed. This time it's Donut who's punishing. And this is really nicely called by FlyQuest here. They get the pick mid, then they reset the map. They slow things down.
I got the spy.
Yeah, it's really good calling right now from Thea. And this is a free C site as well. No one here to contest. I mean, Mela, she hears everything now and gets the info for her team, but what could you really do right now? That Fade ult, I mean, that would have been perfect for a situation like this.
Yeah. So the advantages that Shopify were able to amass in the opening moments of this map have just kind of been put on the back burner for the time being. Shopify down in numbers, again, forced to figure out how are we going to solve this problem of getting retake towards C without the Nightfall. And with an Omen who's so weak. Second smoke just came back up. Sonder will go down. That's certainly going to help the situation. If nothing else, it would alleviate some of the pressure. Donut dropping down with a flash in the face floor on the satchel across, getting punished, but Lace, massive 2K, Starbound over the top. Another gorgeous round by FlyQuest.
Yeah, another gorgeous post plan on C as well. I mean, from start to finish, getting that entry on a B and then having the poise to just back off. A lot of teams there, they jump the gun too early and they just fully commit onto the B site once they get that entry. Especially since, I mean, Sarah was alone there and they were aware as well, right? FlyQuest was more than aware. But to have that poise and the IGLing from Thea to go back to C where they had such a great post plant in the round previous. And again, for Shopify, they're so worried about that CT or water push that they have to invest utility, and that kind of allows FlyQuest to be more dialed in on the actual retake when it comes through.
That turret's going to get cleared out, yeah. And Shopify are doing a decent job of keeping some of that space. But again, you see the smokes. These little mind games that we see teams play at the beginning of the rounds with Omen smokes.
Yeah.
It's just always an interesting thing to keep an eye on because, sure enough, the moment that one of those is not invested is often when things get in trouble.
Yeah. And so far, FlyQuest, they've read into that really well. Like, they know that the exchange of smokes there's always something behind it for the likes of Shopify. So they're doing a good job of not getting caught out by any traps, and they pick the right site to hit once again.
They use the Seekers to pave the way. They have Donut's rocket. In case things get messy, you imagine, given the artillery on the other side, you're going to want to get through this round without having to invest it. But of course, those are the messiest rounds, and Flora is looking to do their very best to keep it as messy as possible. Donut on the swing, Sarah will fall. And it seemed like any hopes or any possibilities of some silliness in the 5th round will just kind of sit by the wayside.
One enemy remaining. Team A.
Oh, nice cleanup to the round from Lace. The jiggle one tap on the floor there at the end, who was just trying to salvage anything into that retake. Keep in mind, that was an eco round for Shopify, but another convincing post plant for FlyQuest. And, you know, the desk spoke a lot about the fundamentals and how clean and collective that FlyQuest Red looked like yesterday. And it looks like they haven't really missed a beat here. I mean, this is the way that you have to play if you want to beat a team like Shopify, if you want to beat a player that's as starstruck as Fluorescent, right? So you have to be together. You have to get the trades, almost not even give Flora a chance at all.
Right. Try to take her out of the game as soon as possible.
Yeah.
And again, this was in the face of a ridiculous start from Sarah, who's still holding on to her ult.
Yeah, it's so
Just been
interesting.
it's just been tough to find the right time, the right position to strike on that thing. You invest here. The ult from Flora, the push out as Thea falls.
What a follow-up. I mean, even the Prowler coming out to just secure it even more. That was beautifully timed, the synergy right now for Shopify. That was so nice. And now they're going to have all the info in the world. Not really having to invest anything. I mean, there's 4 players of Shopify in this front B area. Just locking it down. That will cause FlyQuest to reset into this round.
I wonder if Starbound, if Starbound can clear some of the Cypher utility towards C, it should open up the map a little bit more. But it's so tough to do so here.
Oh, looks
because
like
Mel's holding over the top.
Yeah, it looks like that Cypher chip will get broken, so maybe that'll bait out a couple rotations. You see the breach already moving on the minimap, but
yeah,
being wise to that after that contact at A. But Starbound just crept straight in to the C site, and
I don't know that it was quite really a creep because Mel saw it. They put Starbound put their alarm bot down. Mel cleared it instantly, and I think that was enough for her to think that, oh, it's the Sentinel, it's this lurk, turned attention towards A. But now with 13 seconds left, it's a foot race C. Starbound has already crept so far up. Alexis will get spotted. There's the fault line invested, and now they've got Pit. All of these ults have been sitting, waiting, taking time will finally erupt. Floor with 4. Can Lace keep them back? Trying to dance around the pit, trying to buy enough time, trying to stay alive. Lace has managed to navigate most of it. Can they tuck back into the pit in time? No, the pit will fall, but so will Alexis now, falling down to a 1v1. 8 bullets left. Mel over the top. Mel's been spotted. Blaze doesn't have a ton. 7 bullets. Look at this little game of cat and mouse. Lace with the Red Bull clutch. What a massive round for FlyQuest.
that was absolutely ridiculous. A 3v5. Somebody spotted deep CT, baiting out all that breach utility. I mean, Sarah even invested the Fade ultimate into this round, but it was Starbound getting all that real estate, getting those 2 kills in the Viper's Pit, and Lace just clutching up huge for the side of FlyQuest. A full momentum right now in their favor after what was like such a rocky start in the beginning. And now we see a timeout already called from Shopify. I mean, you kind of have to after losing a round like that, a 5v3.
Oh, yeah. I mean, as you think through what's going on as well, we get the opportunity to look at the scoreboard and look at the alts and, you know, kind of what the money will tell us for these next couple of rounds. Things don't look good for Shopify here, right? FlyQuest have won 4 in a row. Not only that, but they have 3 ults online. Saunders halfway to having theirs online as well. And then you look at the side of Shopify, there's not nearly as much to talk about.
Yeah, this timeout's definitely more of a foreshadowing for probably the following gun round after this. But so far, I mean, FlyQuest have done a really good job of not really dying in the early round, right? To Alexis with the fault line and these trap plays that you can do with the breach. And they're doing a good job of identifying where Alexis is playing as well. And I think that is the game plan that you have to go into this comp, you know, with. Like, if you're playing against a breach comp, it can kind of be a hard tell of where the breach is playing. So for the side of Shopify, maybe showing that utility early and then maybe rotating towards the other side of the map to try to catch somebody off guard over there as the creep as the walk up and the creep up happens from FlyQuest, because it's kind of the seesaw that's been happening so far where, okay, we see a massive amount of people fighting towards A, we're going to take C space, right? It's been this constant back and forth, this tug of war into these rounds.
Sure. Yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense. A rough start to the round for Mel. But again, you wouldn't really expect things to go their way. I do like this gamble. There are 4 pushing forward with sheriffs in hand. And Lace is the one right around the corner. But there's reinforcements. There's help over the top. Got to be cautious, though.
Oh, my gosh.
It's often when you take your eyes off the prize that things get out of hand. Lace has slipped the net, though. She's behind them. Oh, but she, once again, is overwhelmed. Lace falls. And now Shopify have full run of the map.
Minot will get invested to get all that free space towards CT spawn, but the plant is actually from Mound here, and it's not going to get too much value because 3 members of Shopify are actually flanking around, and they have upgrades as well, 3 rifles.
Starbound has their ult.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that'll certainly help. This will slow things down, though.
2 Maulers as well.
I mean, they have to brute force their way through this. If they want to try to find a way to get the lockdown, I mean, that's a perfectly good way to do it. Floor satcheling into your face, getting 3 on the round, and now the line of scrimmage has been pushed back. Sarah's able to hold it the entire way. There's no way for Thea to get in. Shopify will take the round in thrifty fashion.
The satchels from Floor and the follow-up breach utility from Alexis. No place for Starbound to play in that waterfall area. I mean, the breach C comes out. And, oh, this was that beginning fight, that exchange, the gamble. I mean, it pays out amazingly. But that breach C, forcing Starbound to have to come out into the satchels of Floor, I mean, that was so well coordinated from the side of Shopify.
Yeah, it was pretty.
Super clean stuff so far, and a good answer back. I mean, talk about stealing the momentum out of the way of FlyQuest. I mean, the thrifty rounds, they're so brutal to lose.
I primed at the ready and the flash over the top. I love this. That's such a cool idea. No punish on it, but textbook play. Thea tries TPing away, but there's nowhere to run. There's nowhere to hide with a rocket in your face. Sarah not able to steady the shots, not able to hold the line.
Lace has been absolutely insane so far in this map. I mean, the answer back right there after what was such a nice setup from Shopify. I mean, even that rocket that followed up, but now it's going to be all in the hands of Noya. The A anchor. 3 players seen in the cage, but Sonder! What was that?
Not a single kill found. That's ridiculous.
Spike planted.
Only info gained.
Toxins going up.
Is it going to be on Lace again to be a hero? For FlyQuest.
Remaining.
1 target spotted, 1 target dropped. 3 on the round for Lace. Just going to get flushed out of hell. Alexis is not able to spot. Attempting to flee. Remaining member, Lace with 4 as FlyQuest get to 5. Dude, Lace looks so good right now, Dre.
Yeah, Lace is playing absolutely insane right now. I said it earlier. This was that nice setup that we saw earlier, but the cleanup so far from Lace, just crispy and calm and collective. Already 2 off of another Viper's Pit. That was the Viper's Pit that we saw basically steal a round away from Shopify in that 3v5. So that ultimate getting online in this next round, or for the following gun round. I mean, you imagine you could just invest a rocket and then get that ult down. You're gonna convert.
Pasty out from Donut. Oh, it takes a little bit of damage. I mean, just full disrespect. And with the dog to pay. What? That was the door was closed? Oh, it might have been open.
A bit of a blunder. Nobody watching the back. With Sonder there, and now, yeah, it gets scrappy, but Lace once more getting to the cleanup. That's that ultimate online, and now Dodonut hunting for even more in spawn. This is a impressive FlyQuest so far that we've seen, especially off of a round where you get thrifted.
FlyQuests are beaming today. This is ridiculous. And this is what we were hoping to see, man. This is what we were excited for yesterday.
Exactly, and it's not just solo heroics as well. I know Lace is having a great game right now, but there's swings that are happening together, and that's ultimately what's allowing Lace to find those timings to get a lot of these kills. I mean, 16-4. That is ridiculous. We thought Sarah was having a phenomenal start to this game, and I mean, to be fair, she was. But this is something else. Well, what an answer back from FlyQuest.
Lace has been electric, and Floor is quietly almost double positive at this point. But Shopify still find themselves down 3, and you wonder, right? You start to go back to some of what we've recently seen Shopify have to do, where Floor has to drop near 100 to win the series. And I know it's early, but we'll see how much of a gap Lace is able to create if she's able to maintain that pace against the Star Duelist on the other side. Sarah will fall as Donut gets involved, gets into the action. Now they're going to break the panel, turn attention towards B. This is really nice out from FlyQuest again. As soon as they get the open array, they flip the map and an aggressive pit.
It's a masterclass of IGLing right now in game planning from the side of FlyQuest and Thea. I mean, we spoke about it yesterday, but they haven't skipped a beat.
No.
That transition quickly too, instantaneous response. And now Donut's going to be met by 4.
I don't know that it hit. It didn't hit her. Oh, she only gets 1. The trade is there, though. The pit is still up and online. The paranoia to try to create a little bit of chaos into the situation. And Saunders, the one that goes for more. 1 found. Beautiful from FlyQuest yet again.
It's too clinical on these post plants for FlyQuest. They get the bomb down, and it just seems like they're just going to take the round no matter what. They're swinging off of one another. I mean, just right here, this entry into the transition, and then Dodonut playing basically barely in that range. Barely in the dodge range of that breach ult from Alexis just completely nullifies it. And yeah, it's instantly traded by Floor, but the job was already done at that point. The numbered game in favor of FlyQuest. I feel like every single time FlyQuest has been up numbers, they have converted the round into a win.
If that's part of your win condition, and that's a perfect way for things to continue to go. A little bit of early utility from the defensive side will get Floor 1 step closer to her ult. Oh, a lot of targets found. This is once again getting a little messy, a little chaotic, but this time it seems like FlyQuest will navigate it just fine.
I mean, just look at the bodies and how close they are together. That's tells the entire picture. It paints the entire picture, tells the entire story. Floor, although there is a kill gathered, you imagine with these post plants of 4v2, it's too much to ask, and Lace cleans up once again. The fundamentals right now for FlyQuest are reigning supreme in this series so far in this first map.
Dre, I think if I told you that the attack side was going to be up potentially 9 rounds at half on Lotus, you'd probably go, yeah, okay, that makes sense, right? That's pretty standard. But if I had told you that Lace was going to be 18-4 nearing the halftime against Shopify and currently outshining Fluorescent, who's one of the best players in the world, you probably would have called me an idiot. But that's what we're seeing.
I would have at least thought that it would be on Sova of all characters, but not today. We're treated with the Viper.
Again, aggression from Flora, the rocket out, but the paranoia. I mean, the paranoia is just too good.
What an answer back. FlyQuest, they were ready for that. They understood that. I mean, they've shown that front B walk up a couple times previously.
Yeah.
So this time around, I mean, they got punished for it, one of the last times they did it. So this time, not dying to that fault line rocket combo and then to delay and dissuade Floor from getting anything out of that from that paranoia. I mean, so clean.
I mean, she couldn't see a damn thing.
Yeah.
Forget about hitting the mark.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You just have to shoot at that point, because if you don't, I mean, there could be a player at the other end of that paranoia, right? So.
Here.
And again, I mean, the IGLing, it's so good. These freezes to the round after showing front B, denying all that info. I mean, there's 3 players right now lean towards the C site.
And they're all rotating back towards A now. Lace had a shot with the attack side up, but yeah, that's ridiculous too. No falls or picked back up. They've used an nightfall, and now with 30 seconds left, they're gonna have to slow things down and reset. And the problem is, there's not a lot of time left here.
They are picking the right site, but Noya, who's been kind of quiet in this series, has both of these trips still up.
Oh, time's of essence. You must be careful here. The first trip has been cleared. Noya trying to hold the line on their own. Has been quiet. Will continue to be so. Only 1 kill found. But Floor can't really replicate the success. There's not enough time to get the spike down, though. They've done exactly what they needed.
Yeah, good anchoring from Noya. Just getting one and buying enough time for Floor to slip into the site there and actually just killing the bomb planner, allowing that last round to go the way of Shopify. I mean, just they needed that, Doug. They needed that.
I mean, desperately, just to keep this thing competitive and for it to go down the way that they did, sure. And it doesn't have to be pretty. It doesn't have to look good. As long as it's found, and that's exactly what Shopify did. And now, Dre, they're going to have an opportunity to play from the attacking side where you imagine this Breach Fade comp will be a little bit more poppy, will have a little bit more oomph behind it, and maybe that will tell a different story.
Yeah, for sure. 4 rounds might be enough for Shopify, especially if they can convert this pistol round. It definitely will set them up for success. Get those ults rolling. The sight hits of this composition, that's the shining star when you're running this Breach Fade. Slow
course,
approach,
after all that setup about Breach and Fade and execs and sight hits, we have a really slow 3-1-1 to the round.
Lord needs to be real careful in this front B, because if FlyQuest decide to try to punish, I mean, it's going to be tough. I mean, here comes the punish. I mean, can't see a single thing. And Dodo Nut in the head-to-head Raze battle. I mean, it wasn't fair by any means, but
no,
you still get the kill. A kill's a kill at the end of the day. It doesn't matter how you get it. Now Starbomb will make contact.
Yeah, pushed off this early angle. How does Shopify get out and find a little bit of space, given that Floor is dead?
Oh, this nade is going to be a thorn in the side of FlyQuest, but Alexis.
It might be more than a thorn.
Yeah.
Shopify trying to swing things through. Thea tucks tails, get away. 73 HP. Number still in the way of the defense, and with 30 seconds left, Shopify have a couple of options here. The problem is, Dre, 28 HP on Mel, 34 on Noya. Yeah, Starbound's the weak one, but Starbound might win it on their own, and that's exactly what they do.
That was such a nice setup on the pistol from FlyQuest. I mean, the front B trap just off of a timing. I mean, yeah, it was off of the sound of the Roomba, but the punish, nonetheless, from Dodo Nut. I mean, running, full run and gun with the Ghost, and that nade as well to stop the actual B hit from coming through, isolating Alexis, and then Starbound. I mean, Starbound played this perfectly. That turret was up the entire time, tucking into tree. Even if there is no conversion on those kills, your teammates have enough time to rotate in. So, again, fundamentally sound play, and the setups thriving right now for FlyQuest. Another
One-way's
trap.
traded. Flash over the top.
Oh,
Timed in at the ready, and there it is. Off the nade, the fault line too. Dude, I'm so impressed with how FlyQuest are playing this map, man.
good proactivity so far on the defensive side, and the spam here. There's just nothing that Shopify can really do.
I mean,
just
even
a firing
this, look at Saunders' positioning right now. Pushing all the way up to the smoke.
Yep.
Getting in an aggressive angle. Donut with 3 on the round. Yeah, that's certainly going to help. But this has just been so clinical from FlyQuest.
Bomb buddy out.
To me, it's just been not showing respect. I mean, doing the latter, right? Showing the disrespect, not allowing Shopify to have any room to breathe. When you play like this on the defensive side, yeah, Floor gets one here, but
Yeah.
When you play like this on the defensive side, it kind of keeps the attackers guessing, and it kind of slows down the pace for them. And that's what you want against a breach composition. You want them to play slow because you know at the end of the day, if they do end up playing slow, your rechargeables will come back up late in the round. That's where you have the advantage when you're running this double controller comp. So the game planning right now for FlyQuest, immaculate.
Enemy remaining.
And there's really nothing to suggest that it's going to slow down.
Yeah.
FlyQuest get to 10. I mean, you take a look at their buy. They're going to be able to carry a couple over with armor. Lace still at full. Thea can carry light if she wants to. This is such a nice setup.
It's just really nice play. I mean, that's why you see a timeout from the side of Shopify. And just to honestly just glaze FlyQuest red up and the game planning up a little bit more. I mean, in that previous round, if you look at the mini-map, yeah, all these kills are happening. It's all cool. But there's a turret set up at A the entire time. That allows the rotation to play 2 on B. And honestly, no need to rotate anywhere else. You can keep the players at that mound area for as long as they want. And that's why you see all the kills happening. And that turret, that deep info in A main, you don't need to rotate anybody there. You can lean everybody towards that other side of the map. It's just really nice play right now from the side of FlyQuest. And Shopify, they have to win this next gun round. They absolutely have to win it, and they need to win it cleanly. Start building that alt economy up online. So if you don't do that, I mean, it's going to be hard to get any type of snowball into this game, into this map.
Borderline impossible, yeah. I think you're right. I think Maya's go towards Sarah is obviously the closest to having the Nightfall, so being able to kind of play some games with that ult would certainly help, but I think for them, for Shopify, for the comp to kind of mesh in and to really get something going here, I think my eyes goes towards Alexis as well, and being able to have that Rolling Thunder up sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's pretty obvious when you look at the leaderboard. Alexis, Mel, and Noya, they're just hard struggling right now, so they just need to wake up a little bit here and just get online, however that may happen. It's just been so hard because FlyQuest, I mean, another new setup.
There's a lot of presence here. A Bucky for Thea.
Look at where they're deciding to do this trap. It's so unique. The one round they did it was a little bit way more aggressive. Now it's just passive. It's for that orb. Once that orb gets touched, but it's not going to get touched. That would have been the cue to punish. Instead, a silent walk up.
On the other side of the wall, the flash isn't going to hit Mel, but the bullets will hit FlyQuest. Nicely traded by Lace, weapon upgraded. Now we've got a rifle and a bulldog, but it's a 2v4, Dre. This is tough.
Yeah, Mel, I said it. She needs to wake up, and she did just that, getting 2 in the round. That could have easily gone the other way. FlyQuest, they did that walk up. The sky flashes didn't quite connect. Now, the instant reaction off of that, yeah, just take C. Why not? And this retake's going to be way too hard for FlyQuest. The name of the game here is just trying to get as much damage done as possible.
I mean, Sarah's very weak.
Still a nade online, or that fade nade. Tether. Should connect right here with that fault line.
What can Lace do? A glowing Vandal in hand. So heavily outnumbered. Thea's got nowhere to go. Yeah, Thea's so cooked. So done.
Yeah, and at this point, yeah, you just saved this. You got full armor still for the next round.
Yeah.
So, yeah, a clean round from Shopify. I had that kill gone the other way. Maybe Mel falls for a 1-for-1 there. Maybe FlyQuest have a chance in the retake, but still the instant response from the rest of the members of Shopify to just go C and catch the player off guard at that C mound area. That was easy. That was nice. A nicely called round from the side of Shopify.
And so Sarah's 1 point away from her ult. That will certainly help the situation. And again, Flores, I mean, for as much as we've talked about Shopify and kind of the struggles that they've had and how dominant FlyQuest have looked, Flores still, I mean, in stride with the performance that Lace has put up. Yeah, she's died notably more. But as far as frags go, Flores keeping up with it.
Silently, too. I feel like it hasn't been too explosive and too flashy. Here comes that reclear fight. Fault line to answer back.
I love that, but Starbound and Thea, it's a slaughter. It's a slaughter again, Dre. Shopify have no footing.
The most impressive thing is identifying that it's a similar setup to the previous round.
Yep.
And FlyQuest know that, yeah, there was a bunch of members of Shopify toward that area, but they didn't pull the trigger on the actual reclear. This time around, oh, we know that you guys are here. You invest a little bit of utility to take that little rubble area. Okay, now we're going to just have the queue go, and we're just going to take the fight to you. And that's been a lot of the success so far on the defensive side. On a map like this, where it's so hard to get success on the defense, it kind of feels like if you play back, you just get smothered. This game plan of taking the fight.
Control.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. But this game plan of doing a timing fight on the reclears and just stuff like that. Yeah, if the members of Shopify aren't there, you might look a little stupid, but I mean, they've hit the mark almost every single time now.
Right. And honestly, when you've got a hot hand, if you're hitting these gamble hits, I don't know, 6 times out of 10, that's great.
Yeah,
I mean, you're up 8-4 at half. You don't even need to hit that many.
Exactly. Very well said. That's exactly it. I mean, you only need a couple rounds now to win. So yeah, if you just gamble, I mean, it's bound to hit eventually.
Right.
Or at least you would hope so, at least.
All on red continues to work for FlyQuest. Excuse me.
Yeah, you're not used to saying that in this matchup, are you? Yeah, I don't blame you for messing that one up. And again, a new setup of proactivity. It's been this hit squad to say, you know, this Sky Rays Omen just playing together. Good fault line, though.
I mean, they keep guessing the same spot, though. They keep guessing the right spot, and it continues to work. Sarah's doing her damnedest. No, it's going to get flushed out. Not able to take Alexis down with her.
Problem is, if you speed up here from the side of Shopify, there's already 2 members of FlyQuest that made this rotation, so I think that's why you see a freeze to the round.
Which is so impressive. Given how frustrating this map has been, I wouldn't blame them. I'd almost expect them to maybe force it. Like, yeah, okay, we found an opening. All right, now go. We're going to find success here, but Shopify slow it down. Tap of the door. Just enough to cause some doubt. And now Shopify in the second cycle of utility want to turn their attention towards the Lace is going to spot one, drop the second, the third will fall, leaving Floor all on their own. And Lace, when you've got a hot hand like this, take the fight. It doesn't matter if it's Floor on the other side. With 21 HP, Starbound cleans it up, but FlyQuest get to 12.
Lace is absolutely unbelievable right now, Doug. So confident. I mean, Shopify had the info. Fluorescent satcheled across. Almost got the head taken off there, but oh my gosh. Look at these shots. So crispy. Alexis and Noya not quite, together enough there on that double swing, allowing Lace to get those isolated 1v1s, and there's no missing right now for Lace at all.
24-4. Starbound's put up a ridiculous performance as well. It's just tough when you're being outshined by your teammate who's, again, subverting all expectations.
Lace does not care right now. Oh, no. Okay. This time, taken out. So finally, Lace taken down and out of the round. Now it should be a free bomb plant. I think Floor thought that the spike was in the grasp there, but not quite there. You saw that little lag there.
Yeah.
You saw that little thing?
Yeah, missing a key part to the whole equation, but maybe it was just noise that was being intended to manipulate rotations. They start to rotate back A. The spike has already made it out onto site. Starbound has nowhere to go. Again, trapped, forced to reckon with the demise that is inevitable. Now Donut with the ult pop, the satchel forward will connect onto Sarah. Now repositioned very nicely. Spike still hasn't gone down, Dre.
Spike planted.
So late. Flash to delay for Alexis. Dodonut slowly shift walking up. Value gained so far, but real estate gained, and that's a good spam kill from Thea. Tap of the bomb now.
Flores ult. Thea repositions. The smoke goes down. The rocket goes off, and Thea will fall. Dodonut a 1v2 to potentially close out the map on defense as well. I mean, what a story that would be. There's the first. Oh, there's the second as well. Like lambs to the slaughter, they fall. 13-5 the way of Shopify, the way of FlyQuest. That was ridiculous, Dre.
Fully ADS'd in. That's something you do not see every day, and a little bit of a blunder, you can tell. I don't think the game plan was to commit onto this A site, but since Floor didn't have the spike in hand, I mean, it forced them to go back, and then it allowed that opportunity for that to happen. I don't know how you control the recoil, the spread of the bullets like that. What a showing.
We talked so much about Lace. We talked so much about Starbound, but Donut. What a freaking way to close out the map. Lotus goes the way of FlyQuest. Map 2 on the other side of this break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Hey guys, it's Jimmy Lin. In this series, I'm going to walk you through Attack on Pearl. Watch out for the stairs, clear this angle. You're going to be able to fight this.